Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another fascinating exploration of life itself. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why a small seed placed in soil grows into a mighty tree, but a pebble lying next to it remains unchanged for centuries? That's the magic of life versus non life. Living organisms are built with a beautiful internal organization made of cells that allows them to grow, reproduce, and interact with their surroundings. Non-living things like stones, air, or water may exist in our environment, but they lack this self-organization. Think of watering a plant. Within days, you'll see new leaves or even flowers forming. But watering a stone changes nothing. That difference is the true mark of living versus non-living.
Let's now dive deeper into what gives life its structure. Living beings are made up of cells, the smallest structural and functional units of life. Each cell is like a microscopic city packed with organelles that work in harmony to keep the organism alive. Inside cells, you'll find proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, and nucleic acids all neatly organized inside a protective membrane. Non-living objects, on the other hand, may contain atoms and molecules, but they never form this kind of cellular organization. As you can see in this diagram of the hierarchy of organization, life begins at the level of atoms, which combine into molecules, then organelles, and then cells. From cells come tissues, then organs, then entire organ systems, which finally make up a complete organism. This organism, in turn, becomes part of a population, a community, and eventually the biosphere itself. Isn't it incredible that all living things, from bacteria to blue whales, follow this same hierarchy of organization? One of the most striking features of living organisms is their constant need for energy and matter. Every living cell is like a little power station, drawing in energy to maintain its structure and function. Plants, for example, perform photosynthesis, where 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water, in the presence of sunlight, produce 1 molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen. That's 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus sunlight equals C6H12O6 plus 6O2. This glucose becomes food not just for the plant, but for all animals, including us. In contrast, a stone lying in sunlight does nothing. It doesn't absorb or convert energy. Your own body, however, breaks down glucose in a process called cellular respiration, releasing energy to power every movement, every thought, every heartbeat. That is the energy of life. Now, here's another hallmark of life: reproduction. Living organisms always find a way to continue their kind. Plants produce seeds that grow into new plants. Animals give birth or lay eggs. Even bacteria, though single-celled, divide into 2 identical cells in a process called binary fission. At the core of reproduction is the transmission of genes, DNA sequences that carry all the instructions for making and running an organism. Each new generation inherits these instructions, ensuring continuity of life. Non-living objects can never do this. A chair doesn't create another chair. A river doesn't flow into 2 identical rivers. But life, whether a tiny yeast cell budding into a new one or a mother giving birth to a child, carries its identity forward across generations. Another fascinating feature of life is homeostasis, the ability to regulate internal conditions despite external changes. For example, when you exercise, your muscles need more oxygen. Immediately, your breathing and heart rate increase, supplying oxygen-rich blood to those active tissues. Once you rest, your body automatically returns to balance. That's homeostasis at work. Living organisms maintain stability in temperature, pH, water balance, and countless other parameters. But non-living things, like a thermometer, only respond passively, they can show changes but cannot adjust themselves to maintain equilibrium. This self-regulation is one of the clearest distinctions between life and non-life. At a deeper molecular level, the chemistry of life is driven by genes and enzymes. Genes, segments of DNA, carry instructions for building proteins. Among these proteins are enzymes, which are biological catalysts that speed up essential reactions. For example, the enzyme DNA polymerase copies DNA during cell division, ensuring each daughter cell gets the exact genetic code. Without enzymes, life's reactions would be too slow to sustain existence. Non-living things, however, undergo chemical changes randomly, often requiring external energy sources like heat or pressure. They lack this precise genetic and enzymatic control. Isn't it astonishing how every living cell has its own highly organized molecular machinery running flawlessly every second? So let's bring it all together. Living organisms are cellular, self-organized systems that acquire and use energy, reproduce their own kind, regulate their internal environment, and evolve over generations. Non-living matter, though made of atoms and molecules, cannot show these biological processes. The difference is simple yet profound. A seed in soil grows into a tree, but a pebble remains unchanged. Life is dynamic, self-sustaining, and wonderfully complex, while non-life is passive and inert. I hope you now see why biology is truly called the science of life. Every cell in your body, every leaf in a garden, every breath you take is part of this incredible story of living systems. Until next time, keep observing the living world around you because it is full of wonders waiting to be discovered.